Baluchistan, a land of rugged mountains and arid plains, holds a rich tapestry of history and culture. Ancient civilizations flourished here, leaving behind archaeological treasures. The Baloch people, known for their fierce independence, have inhabited this land for centuries. Their nomadic traditions and vibrant cultural expressions showcase their resilience. From the majestic mountains to the shimmering coastline, Baluchistan is a land of stark beauty. The Baloch are a diverse group with unique customs and traditions. Their language and shared history of resilience forge a strong collective identity. They have preserved their cultural heritage despite modern challenges. Modernity threatens their cultural fabric and territorial integrity. Baluchistan's strategic location has made it a coveted prize throughout history. Its natural resources have fueled external ambitions. This has made Baluchistan a focal point of geopolitical intrigue. The Baloch have long struggled to maintain their autonomy and cultural identity. Despite challenges, they retain a strong sense of identity and determination. Their music reflects their joys, sorrows, struggles, and triumphs. Their intricate carpets showcase their artistic talents. Their cuisine speaks of their history and relationship with their environment. These living traditions bind the Baloch people together in a changing world. The spectre of colonialism cast a long shadow over Baluchistan, leaving an indelible mark on its political landscape and shaping its destiny in profound ways. The British Empire, driven by its insatiable appetite for expansion and control, extended its dominion over parts of Baluchistan in the 19th century, dividing the region into British Baluchistan and princely states. This division sowed the seeds of future conflicts and created divisions that continue to plague the region today. The partition of India in 1947, which cleaved a subcontinent and unleashed one of the largest mass migrations in human history, had far-reaching consequences for Baluchistan. As the British withdrew from the Indian subcontinent, the fate of Baluchistan hung precariously in the balance. The Khan of Kalat, the ruler of the largest princely state in Baluchistan, sought independence for his people, arguing that Baluchistan had never been an integral part of British India. However, his pleas for self-determination fell on deaf ears. Pakistan, newly independent and eager to consolidate its territorial integrity, viewed Baluchistan's strategic location and resource wealth as vital to its national interests. In a move that continues to be widely condemned as a forced annexation, the Pakistani army marched into Baluchistan in 1948, crushing the nascent independence movement and absorbing the region into its fold. The Khan of Kalat was coerced into signing an instrument of accession, an act that many Baloch nationalists argue was carried out under duress and lacked legitimacy. The forced accession of Baluchistan to Pakistan marked the beginning of a tumultuous relationship, marred by mistrust, broken promises, and violent conflict. It sowed the seeds of deep resentment among the Baloch people, who felt betrayed by the very nation that had promised them unity and prosperity. The annexation also set in motion a cycle of rebellion and repression that continues to this day, casting a long shadow over the region's future. The Baloch people's struggle for autonomy and dignity has become a defining feature of their modern history, a testament to their resilience and their unwavering determination to chart their own destiny. Baluchistan, despite being home to vast reserves of natural resources, presents a stark paradox, a land of immense wealth, but with a population mired in poverty and deprivation. This disconnect between the region's resource abundance and the socio-economic well-being of its people is a telling indictment of the exploitative policies that have characterized its post-colonial trajectory. The region's natural resources, instead of being harnessed for the benefit of its people, have become a source of contention and a catalyst for conflict. The discovery of vast natural gas reserves at Sui in the 1950s raised hopes for economic transformation in Baluchistan. However, these hopes were soon dashed as the benefits of this resource extraction largely bypassed the local population. The Sui gas field, despite being located in Balochistan, provided a meager share of royalties to the province, with the lion's share of the revenue flowing into the coffers of the federal government and Punjab, Pakistan's most populous and politically dominant province. This inequitable distribution of resources fueled resentment among the Baloch people, who saw their natural wealth being siphoned off to develop other parts of Pakistan, while their own region languished in neglect. The story of Sui gas is emblematic of a broader pattern of resource exploitation that has characterized Baluchistan's post-colonial experience. The region's mineral wealth, including copper, gold, and coal, has attracted significant foreign investment. But these projects have often been accompanied by allegations of environmental degradation, displacement of local communities, and the exploitation of Baloch labor. The Sindak copper-gold project, for instance, a joint venture between a Chinese company and the Pakistani government, has been a source of controversy, with critics accusing it of prioritizing profit over the well-being of the local population and the environment. The economic marginalization of Baluchistan is not merely a matter of resource distribution. It is deeply intertwined with broader issues of political disempowerment and lack of control over their own destiny. The Baloch people have been systematically excluded from decision-making processes related to the exploitation of their natural resources. Their voices have been silenced, their concerns ignored, and their aspirations for a better future thwarted. The Pakistani state, often in collusion with powerful corporate interests, has prioritized profit over people, viewing Baluchistan's resources as an asset to be exploited rather than as a means to uplift the region from poverty and underdevelopment. The plight of Baluchistan extends far beyond economic exploitation. It is a tale of political marginalization, systematic human rights abuses, and the brutal suppression of dissent. The Baloch people have been denied their fundamental rights to freedom of expression, assembly, and association. Their voices stifled by a state apparatus that views any form of dissent as a threat to its authority. The Pakistani military, which wields disproportionate influence in Baluchistan, has acted with impunity, carrying out extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances, and arbitrary detentions, creating a climate of fear and intimidation that has silenced many into submission. Enforced disappearances, a particularly egregious violation of human rights, have become a grim hallmark of the Pakistani state's response to dissent in Baluchistan. Hundreds, if not thousands, of Baloch activists, students, intellectuals, and even ordinary citizens have been forcibly disappeared by Pakistani security forces, their whereabouts unknown, their fate uncertain. The families of the disappeared are left in a state of agonizing limbo, clinging to hope, while grappling with the unbearable pain of not knowing whether their loved ones are alive or dead. The Pakistani government's response to the issue of enforced disappearances has been woefully inadequate, marked by denial, obfuscation, and a lack of accountability. The judiciary, while constitutionally mandated to protect human rights, has often failed to provide redress to the victims of enforced disappearances and their families. This lack of accountability has created a climate of impunity, emboldening the perpetrators and perpetuating a cycle of violence and human rights abuses. The international community, while expressing concern over the human rights situation in Baluchistan, has been reluctant to take concrete action to address the root causes of the conflict. The Pakistani government, a key ally in the so-called war on terror, has skillfully exploited its strategic importance to deflect international pressure and evade accountability for its human rights record. The plight of the Baloch people, their voices muzzled, their rights trampled upon, continues to be a stain on the conscience of the world, a reminder of the human cost of geopolitical expediency and the urgent need for a more just and equitable world order.